Hello Olympic coaches, Ms. Terhar, Mr. Terhar, and other rowers. Today I'll be presenting you my toolkit, and this toolkit is designed to maximize your performance in the Olympics and future competitions. Once again, welcome, and let's get started. The first thing I'd like to say is that in this toolkit we have 5 major components that I'll be explaining to you: nutrition, recovery, injury prevention, performance, and mental game. First, let's get started with nutrition. Nutrition is essential to everyone, coaches, rowers, and pretty much basically everyone, because nutrition keeps your body in shape and it lets you perform at your maximum level. And tracking the nutrition that you're eating, or also called your diet, tracking your diet is very essential for an athlete because eating too much or too little of any of the categories in the food pyramid, which I'm assuming that you all know, but for those of you that don't, the food pyramid is basically a pyramid that shows you the 6 major food categories and how much of each category you should be consuming. And this tracking your diet should be very essential, because eating too much or too little of any of those categories would result in a problem, such as eating too many carbohydrates would result in an excess of fat, which could be stored away. And fat or lipids are never a good thing, because lipids are storable items, and your body only uses it for energy after all of your carbohydrates are used up, and the lipids only weigh you down. But there are some good things that come out of lipids, such as tissue protection and cell membranes protecting the cell membranes, and all this is good. But lipids are something you should stay away from, because they weigh your body down. And tracking your diet is now made easy because of a nutrition tracker that we have found online. And this nutrition tracker lets you track whatever you're eating, and it'll guide you into what you should be eating. And maybe you are eating the right thing, and it'll tell you this is good, and you did so and so. Maybe you ate the right amount of carbohydrates for a particular day, and it'll be like, this is the amount of carbohydrates you should be eating per day. And this nutrition tracker is very vital to your path in the road of success, because tracking your diet is now made easy, and it's very essential to athletes everywhere. Along with your nutrition, you should always have proper hydration. Proper hydration means having plentiful of water, and because when you work out or you're in a competition, your body starts to sweat, and this is your body's way of saying that it's your body's way of saying it has to cool down. And when it sweats, you're losing water, and when you're losing water, the dehydration is a major problem, because now dehydration could result in fatigue, feeling tired, or maybe even fainting. And so it is always good to carry around a bottle of water, or a bottle of Gatorade, maybe a sports drink, any kinds of sports drink. And just by carrying it and drinking it throughout the workout will keep you hydrated and prevent from a lot of different problems. And water is essential in nutrition, because it stops you from getting a lot of other problems, such as I just mentioned, dehydration. As we move along, we have found a very short video, about 3 minutes long, is how to use the nutrition tracker. And this we highly recommend you using this site, because it lets you track all of your diet, and it guides you into what you should be eating. And this is a very short video in how to use the nutrition tracker website, and you can watch this after this presentation or in your own free time. So we'll be moving along to the next category, which is recovery. Recovery is very important for all athletes, which recovery is basically recovering from workouts, competitions, and it's recovering from mental stress maybe. And we have a few ways of dealing with this, dealing with recovery. The first major way we would like you to recover is by just sleeping, resting, or just like lying down on your sofa and taking a nap maybe. And this seems like a little thing, but it's actually very essential, because sleeping lets your muscles relax as well as your mind, and your mind then lets go of all the stress that it had during the day, and your muscles, maybe your sore muscles will relax, and your digestion takes place, and you'll store up more energy for your next day. And this is maybe a very simple task, but it comes a long way in recovery. The next major way that you can recover is proper nutrition. Proper nutrition is just a generally a good thing to proper nutrition. Exactly, is proper nutrition specifically, and specifically proper nutrition is very good in all categories. And in recovery it's good because the right meal after or before workout or a competition can really change your performance, and how much output your body puts into that competition. Proper nutrition does just that. By recovering, you should eat a lot of carbohydrates with some proteins, because the carbohydrates gives you a quick amount of energy, and this energy could be used to recover from sore muscles, and proteins can be used to work out muscles and build on them and improve bone strength. Here are some other ways of that you might go in depth into: compression clothing, hydrotherapy, massages, and but the one we'll be concentrating on lastly is yoga. Yoga not only does it relax your body, but it also relaxes the mind. And I believe that yoga is probably the most important, the best way in recovery, because yoga relaxes both the mind and the body. It's essential that you recover both, because your mind can be in a lot of stress, and you may only recover the body, but your body is still at unease, and this won't give you the utmost performance that your body can give, because now your mind is under stress and it won't give you the full output that you might prefer. And yoga does just this. Simple exercises of yoga before a workout or after a workout will let go of all the stress that you had during the day. And these stretches are very breathing orientated or aerobic. And by this I mean that they're very breathing orientated. The stance that you see here is lotus, and it helps you breathe in and get oxygen to your mind, and this clears up a lot of stress. And I believe yoga would probably be the best way to recover, because it recovers both the body and the mind. Now let's move on to the next category. Injury prevention. Injury prevention for me is probably the most important thing in all of this toolkit. Because if you have an injury, you can't even compete. You won't even get a chance to compete. and that's why we added in this section. And this section shows you how you could prevent these injuries. And when you prevent these injuries, you can compete, and you would actually have a chance to win. And for me, this is the most important, because with getting an injury, you wouldn't be able to compete. Here are some ways in how you can prevent these injuries. The first important one, I feel like, is warming up and cooling down, and they're both equal in importance. And there's one major way of doing both warming up and cooling down, and this is stretching. Stretching is a very essential part of any athlete. Stretching warms up your muscles, or it cools down sore muscles. Stretching before a workout or a competition will loosen your muscles, loosen your tightened muscles, and it will keep your body loose, and your body will stay active, and it will give you a better performance in your competition. And by cooling down, stretching while cooling down is also as important as stretching when warming up, because when you're cooling down, after your workout or competition, your muscles are all sore and very tight. And once you start to stretch, your muscles start to loosen, and they start to break down the fat and turn it into muscle. And this is a very easy way to prevent injuries, like doing a couple of stretches, 1 to 3 stretches before a workout, or maybe even just doing just a long a stretch to the toes, maybe like try to touch your toes for like a minute. This will go a long way in preventing injuries. Now let's move on to the next way you can prevent injuries, which is eating well. And this goes along with nutrition. As I said, it's very important in all of the categories. Eating well is a very easy way to prevent injuries. By eating the right amount of food, you'll prevent a lot of health issues such as diarrhea, diabetes, fatigue, which are all caused by lack of energy. And eating a good carbohydrate full meal and a protein rich meal is a good way for you to make sure that your injuries are kept away from you. The injuries are kept away from you. This is because carbohydrates are your body's quickest way of getting energy. And if you're just eating burgers on cheeseburgers, then your body's not going to be an excess of fat, and this is going to create diabetes or obesity. And this is not good, because your body won't give you, I assure you, it won't give you the utmost best performance that it could give you. And carbohydrates, eating a lot of carbohydrates will give you that quick burst of energy during a competition or a workout. And proteins help with the recovery of this workout or competition. So they're both should be in a meal that you eat before or after a meal, after a competition or a workout. And this is a good way to make sure that you prevent injuries. And the resting and recuperation is also a good way, as well as periodization. And these two categories just summarize of how important it is to warm up before a workout or a competition. And now let's move on to the next category. Performance. And this is our major section in our toolkit. In our toolkit, we are expecting you to do better and perform better in the Olympics, Ms. Terhar. and Mr. Terhar. This is our major component of this toolkit because we want to maximize your performance in the Olympics. When it comes down to it, this is the major question. How can you be sure that you row to the best of your ability? And to do this, we found a few ways. The first one is pre-event nutrition. Pre-event nutrition and post-event nutrition are two very important things that you should be doing. To get the best, get your body to the best of its ability. And pre-event nutrition is the meal that you take before a workout or a competition, and this meal should be taken in 2 hours advance of the workout or competition. And pre-event nutrition or a pre-event meal should consist of a high carbohydrate rich meal. This is because the carbohydrates give you a very quick burst of energy, and it's your body's primary way of getting energy. And you should stay away from lipids or fats in this meal as much as possible. And the post-event nutrition is just as important as the pre-event nutrition, because this helps with the recovery. As I spoken in the recovery section, a post-event meal should consist of carbohydrates and high protein, because proteins help with the recovery of your muscles and your sore muscles, and it does this by speeding up reactions, maybe by having a few enzymes which are micros that speed up reactions and catalyze them. And the proteins help with that. Proteins help with that recovery, and it speeds up the process. And the last most important part of the performance is the results. To get the best out of your performance, you should also have motivation, and this is what results is actually focusing on. While looking back on previous performances and previous events and your previous scores, you can motivate yourself to beat that time and maybe perform a little better than you had in those previous competitions. And this will motivate you to do better in the competition or workout, and maybe work a little harder or run the extra mile. And ergometer and as well as stretching are two other are very important in performance as well. But the primary ways of getting the best performance that that you expect from your body is by eating a pre-event meal and a post-event meal, and recovering from workouts and getting ready for them as well. And our last category is mental game. Mental game is your mindset in when you train or when you perform. And the best way to get the best mental game or the best mental strength is always to have a positive attitude. Having a positive attitude on everything and having the positive insight will help you perform better, and having a positive attitude as well will have you see the better part in life. And as you look at the positive side of any situation, you'll see that your body will get better, because maybe even when you're losing a race, you should be caring about is whether you give it your best shot or not. And giving your best shot is looking in the brighter scheme of things. And looking at the brighter scheme of things, you'll feel a little better because now you know that you're giving your best effort. It doesn't mean that you just quit. It doesn't mean that at all. It means that you improve on that, and looking on the positive side of things would truly have you improve on things. The second component is teamwork. Teamwork is essential in rowing, as I know, because it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork sport, and when you're trying to maybe be greedy and shouting at everyone else to be better, well, this won't work because no one likes to be yelled at. So using teamwork, you could suggest a few mistakes that they might be doing, and suggest a few ways on how to fix those mistakes, and maybe speaking with your coach to improve your own game. And in rowing, even if one person doesn't have a good performance, that surely means that the group's performance won't be as of utmost ability. And this is why teamwork is very essential in your mental game. Lastly, we have motivation. As I talked about in performance, motivation is very key to having a good performance, because having motivation, you will be passionate about something you do, and when you're passionate about something you do, most people tend to perform better, tend to strive at what they do, what they like to do. And maybe looking back at your old records, as I talked in the previous section, maybe looking back at your old records and trying to beat that last result will give you motivation. And being a part of a team, and then maybe encouraging one another within your team will also motivate each other to doing better. And this will be the end of the mental game. And we'll go back. And that in entirety is my toolkit.